How many of you have large friend groups? How many different people do you talk to on a daily basis? Have you ever thought about the similarities and differences between your friends? Do you understand why your friends believe in some of the things they do? I'm Jason Nolan, and I'm here to talk about worldview and why it's important. The definition of worldview is how you look at the world, how you think it operates, why things happen the way they do, and what your purpose is. For example, a worldview of atheism, which is a belief that God does not exist. God explains the creation of the universe and of life as randomness acting over a very long time. But there are certain events that could lead up to that person becoming an atheist. Like, were they raised like that? Did something happen in their life that they were wanting to become an atheist? I believe things like this matter because you should always learn what a person is coming from before you are quick to judge. A person's experiences can play a major role in their belief system. There are 7 main components of worldview, and those are culture, language, religion, environment, gender, media, and ideology. But today, we're going to be focusing on 3, and those are media, culture, and religion. And I'm going to be using my personal experiences for this. So the first one we're going to talk about is culture. I grew up in a Black family, and I went to a predominantly Black elementary school. And this growing up, I really knew nothing else. It was just Black people. So I was really only familiar with the African American culture. And we would celebrate it so much throughout my elementary school because they just want us to recognize that this is who we are, this is where we came from, and all that kinds of stuff. So when I moved on to middle school, it was kind of different because it was more diverse than elementary school. Like there were Black, white, Asian, Indian, and different races of people. But it just felt weird because all my life, it feels like everything is just being focused on me and my race. And we didn't really get that in middle school. And it was just very different, kind of culture clash. I had different kinds of friends. I had different races, friends of different races. And I got to know a lot of my friends very well and what they were coming from. And it was my first time making friends outside of my race as well. But things really didn't start to change super quick until I got to high school. High school was very different from everything I've been taught my whole entire life. I went to a Catholic high school, and it was very different for me because not for the fact it was Catholic, but the fact that it was a predominantly white school. So it was literally a culture shock. I was one of the only Black kids in my class, yet alone the whole entire school. And that was just very weird to me. And I thought I would never get used to it. But one day I decided, hey, instead of just downing myself on being one of the only Black kids in the school, let me not try to fit in, but let me try to get used to this. You know, I don't want to be unfamiliar with people I go to school with. Like, I came to learn, but I also like to make friends. I'm a very friendly person. But it was definitely a culture shock for me. And being a Christian, Catholicism, I felt like was way different just for the fact that everything, like Christian it's a general sect. It's a general religion. And Catholicism just is so intricate and specific, and there's a lot of things. Like, since we were at Catholic high school, we had mass every day. Mass was just very formal and it's very different from what I've been used to growing up. And so you can kind of see how my culture like transitions into my religion. You know, I grew up in a very religious household, went to church every Sunday. I used to read my Bible every day. But as I grew up, as I got older, kind of question myself, like, why am I doing this? Because as a little kid, I really didn't like going to church. Like I only went to church because my dad made me. But I enjoyed going to church with my dad. But ever since my dad passed away, it just feels like I don't I do believe in God, but it's just that I don't feel like I have to go to church every Sunday just so I could renew my faith. Like I feel like I'm a strong and firm believer in God. And that's really something that differs from being a Catholic. Like I understand a lot of my Catholic friends in high school, I'm not sure if they ever question their religion because since they grew up in a Catholic household, they were born Catholic. So they've been Catholic their whole life. And I feel like Catholics believe if you do so and so this much good stuff, then you'll get into heaven. And I feel like that's why they're permitted to go to mass every Sunday or throughout the. One more example I would say is how Black Lives Matter is portrayed by the media. Like every time on the media you see Black Lives Matter, you always see a riot, like a car burning on fire, something crazy happening, when in reality, that's not at all what Black Lives Matter stands for. Like Black Lives Matter is always confused with being the ones who start the riots, when in reality, that's not them. And it's found online, the information that most of the peaceful protests don't incite riots. People who incite the riots are just ignorant people. And another one is how white people get so mad and like feel left out from the Black Lives Matter movement because they believe that Black Lives Matter mean that only Black Lives Matter, when in reality, Black Lives Matter is just saying that Black Lives Matter too. Not just saying that white lives don't matter. But when you have counter arguments like all lives matter, which is not a real movement, it's just a counter argument to Black Lives Matter, which really doesn't do anything. With this being said, it was a pleasure having Ms. Brooks as a teacher. Pleasure meeting all my classmates, and I hope the rest of y'all have a great year. I'm Jason. Peace out.